Welcome to the Mindset Mile podcast. I'm your host, Aisha Zaza. For the next 30 days, we're going to learn to build better habits in health, fitness, relationships, business, and overall well-being by making small mindset shifts that make a big difference. Contrary to how it may seem, the path to any success is achieved by taking small, consistent action over time. Someday is not a day of the week, so the time to level up is now, because you were made for greatness. It'll be a marathon, not a sprint, and together we'll take it one step, 1 mile, one day at a time. Welcome to the Mindset Mile. You ready? Hey fam! I think what we're going to talk about today is super important to take note of because I see so many people hold back from going after something they want because they've made the decision that the outcome will result in a no before they even ask. Oftentimes, we think we're protecting ourselves from feeling let down by just sparing the ask, but honestly, what good are low hopes? By simply not asking, we are guaranteeing that we will not get what we are afraid we won't get. Can you think of something recently you've held back from asking for? Can you imagine the outcome had you just asked and the answer was yes? What if the answer to getting the raise was yes? What could you be doing with more income now? What if the answer to asking for help from your significant other was yes? Would you hold less frustration? Or could an argument have been spared? Some of the most incredible experiences of my life felt like they were crazy far out of reach, but I decided to inquire anyway, which ultimately resulted in doing the very thing I felt was larger than life. But the answer was always no until I had asked. I'm going to give you an example that has always been a pinnacle of this concept for me. So, fun fact, I had first started going to school for fashion design and apparel manufacturing. For my last semester of the program, we had to complete an internship in the field. I knew this was so far-fetched, but I thought about how rad it would be to get an internship in the mecca of fashion, New York City. I literally knew nobody in the fashion industry in New York City. But I had a family friend that I felt like I could connect with just to send out some feelers. I told him I was basically willing to clean floors if it got me to New York for an internship. It was a couple weeks later, he emailed me saying that one of the kids' parents of whom he coached hockey worked in the fashion district. He said he told him about me and that I was looking for an internship in the city and passed along my email. I was freaking out at the hope that something would come into fruition through this connection, and honestly, deep down, I knew it would. I just had a feeling about it. When you put what you want out into the universe, it has a way of finding you. Anyway, to make a long story short, I went through the interview process and a couple weeks later had an offer for a paid internship at an apparel manufacturing company for the summer if I wanted it. I just about fell out of my chair. My mind was fully blown because all it took was an ask. I had zero clue if my friend in New York knew anyone even close to the field I was getting into. But what if I had just written it off because it felt way too far out of reach? Even after I got the offer, I had no clue how I would afford to go, where I would stay, how I'd manage to fund this experience as a 20-year-old. But when you know your why, the how will always work itself out. It was hands down one of my favorite experiences of my life. I got some of the best hands-on experience, attended some really amazing events and fashion shows with the company I was working for, and ultimately got to experience living in one of the most magnificent cities in the world, the Big Apple. It was truly a dream come true. To this day, I can still feel the shock of getting that yes through such a random series of events that started with just asking a question. Hey, happen to know anyone in the fashion district? The universe was like, I'm so happy you asked. Here you go. I can think of so many times in my life where I've felt hesitant to ask a question, but have gotten exactly what I was looking for because of it. Here are a few reasons why we hesitate. We're afraid of what people will think. We're scared the answer will be no. We don't want to be the only one who doesn't know the answer. We're afraid to take people's time by asking for help. Or once upon a time, we learned that something we asked was a dumb question. You want to know what I think? The person that asks the most questions wins. There are so many opportunities to learn through being curious and asking. And there are so many opportunities to seize if we ask for them. There are yeses waiting for us to ask, even though they are among plenty of no's. But if you haven't learned by now, the answer will always be no until you ask. If you think asking for something you want takes a lot of bravery, I want to reassure you that that's only your imagination. I mean, think about it. It's just a question. Questions only ever feel awkward and huge to us because of what we make them mean. But the reality is, they're not life or death, and there's no end-all be-all if the answer to our question wasn't what we were hoping it would be. I run into this a lot with people that I coach. They're afraid to ask someone to take a look at information that would only benefit them because they're afraid of them saying no, or that what they're offering won't be a fit. If you're in a position to be offering a product or service and are afraid of hearing no, here's what I want you to repeat to yourself. Some will, some won't, so what? Next, if your success is determined by your asks, you must adopt this mindset and get moving. It doesn't make any sense to make up someone's mind for them. So get out of your own way and just ask the question. When we assume people's answers, we're making it about ourselves. So next time you feel scared to inquire about or ask for something, I want to encourage you to detach yourself from the outcome. So what if the answer is no? Like seriously, what will happen? Will you die? Does the world end? No. Remind yourself what you're assuring if you don't. So can you identify where you're holding yourself back simply by not asking? Is it at work? In your relationship? About a new venture you want to pursue? What is it? I hope after this episode, you're fired up to get your ask in gear for whatever it is you want and need to be doing to level up in your life. Because you know what the answer is if you don't. If you haven't already, be sure to head over to themindsetmile.com and download my free journal. It's my gift to you to help you build better habits as we go through this challenge together. And if you're loving this podcast, it would mean the world to me if you rated, subscribed, and shared with a friend. Be sure to tag me on your walks or runs at Aisha Zaza and hashtag MindsetMile. That's all we have for today, my friends. Remember, the big things don't happen overnight. It's the small things done consistently that make the big things possible. You are capable and you are worthy. Make it a great day.